Revelation 1477. From the 17th of June 1940. Distance from God. Self-knowledge. Unification. In order to reduce the distance from God, man must be conscious of the distance from him and therefore feel the separation oppressive or painful. Then he will strive for a change of the state which does not satisfy him and now therefore consciously work on himself in the realization that his own state of maturity must be raised in order to reduce the distance from God. Thus, self-knowledge is the first condition for conscious work on the soul, but this is least to be found in people, because they do not consider themselves defective, and therefore they do nothing to raise their spiritual state. It is extraordinarily difficult to shake the feeling of excellence in man, and yet this is equally necessary, because only the man who recognizes his shortcomings, lends a hand himself to remedy these shortcomings. And again, the will to truth is absolutely necessary, for the truth-loving man gives himself an account of his thoughts and actions, and he exercises criticism, so it is understandable that the man whose heart strives for truth, is close to the right path, for his train of thought is guided in such a way that he recognizes himself and consequently also strives for a change in his nature. And so, when he recognizes his shortcomings, he becomes small and humble, he wants to remedy them and turns to God for strength. And so he already approaches the eternal Godhead, because he wants to go to God. He recognizes his unworthy state and wants to escape from it. He feels that he alone is not able to do this and therefore requests divine grace, and now the distance from God becomes smaller and smaller, because as man receives the strength from God, which he requests for his spiritual well-being, God's love also takes hold of him and makes his heart capable of love. And love again brings him closer and closer to God. Love at last completely abolishes the distance from God. Love establishes the union. The walk on earth has now finally brought about that man has given up his will striving against God and has reconnected himself to his Father from eternity out of his own will and is thus redeemed from an endlessly long bondage. Amen.